We move now to the obligations of the prayer. Obligations of the prayer. The first thing is the intention. It's important. And that is to intend by his heart the type of the prayer he's intending to perform. The Prophet ﷺ said, إِنَّمَا الْأَعْمَالُ بِالنِّيَّاتِ. Verily, actions are related conditionally to the intentions. Conditionally to the intentions. Okay? The place of the intention is positioned in the heart. And the Prophet had not been known to be uttering the intention. But this is one of the common innovations, bid'ah. Like some people say, I'm intending to perform Salatul Dhuhr, for example, Dhuhr prayer, 4 rak'ah, praying behind the Imam. Which doesn't make any sense. I mean, okay, why he has to say, I'm standing behind the Imam? Why doesn't he mention the name of the Imam, the nationality, date of birth of the Imam? Doesn't make sense. The Prophet never... Did any companion say, I'm intending to pray, to perform 4 rak'ah, standing behind the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam? Never known. Scholars say, if a person intended to pray Dhuhr, or any prayer, but he forgot, for example, to say it, the prayer is sound. Because uttering what's in your intention, it is not conditional. In a matter of fact, it has no background. The first is the intention. Second is takbiratul ihram. Takbirat al-ihram, this is the first takbir, saying Allahu Akbar. Standing while looking at the place of his prostration while standing. Okay? But if he is sitting for what we call tashahhud, his eyes will be looking at his finger. The Prophet ﷺ said, the Prophet ﷺ used to be standing in the prayer. And there was a carpet that is filled with adornments, signs and stuff and images. So as the Prophet finished, he told his wife, take this carpet away, bring another one, for this carpet had distracted me from my prayer. Okay? Now here comes another question. People say, well, if I close my eyes in my prayer, I can have more khushu', better awareness, better feeling in my prayer. The answer is no. You know why? First, because the Prophet did not find out this as a solution. Okay? Why the Prophet had to keep his eyes open? So these adornments and images had caused him to be distracted. Couldn't this be a solution to the Prophet to close his eyes? But he didn't. Yet, he ordered the carpet to be replaced with another carpet that doesn't have these adornments. So closing the eyes is not a solution. In a matter of fact, is not legislated in the prayer. In your performance of the prayer, you should be, while standing, you should be looking at the place where you're making your prostration. Okay? The other reason why is that when the eyes are closed, the imagination is widely opened. So don't think that when you close your eyes, you are focusing more. No, I'm afraid you'll be distracted more. And as I mentioned, the Prophet did not find this as an alternative or a solution. He ordered the solution to him, in his perspective, is to take this adorned carpet away, and another carpet should be brought forth. Okay. So he'll be standing like this, raising his hands at the same place, close to his shoulders, and saying Allahu Akbar. Standing clearly like this. Why do we say that? Because some people, as they go to the ruku' or sujood, prostration, they go quickly. They don't. I'tidal means to stand up firmly like this, not like that. This is very important. Okay. The third. First is the intention. Second is takbiratul ihram. Third is standing in the prayer if it's possible. If it is possible. Because the Prophet said, صَلِّ قَائِمًا, pray while standing. فَإِن لَمْ تَسْتَطِعْ فَقَاعِدًا, but if you could not, then while sitting. فَإِن لَمْ تَسْتَطِعْ فَعَلَى جَنْبٍ, for if you cannot also, even you cannot sit down, but you only can lie down, you can still pray while lying down. Therefore, there's no one that is excused not to pray, saying, for example, I have continuous urinating. This is not an excuse for you. You can do it. We ordered the woman who has the same case of blood, continuous gushing blood, that she can purify herself the utmost she can, then she can put napkins, then can she pray, and then right after that, within 1 or 2 minutes, she can perform Asr, and she does not need to bother about what will be gushing through this period of time. So if this was a solution for women, don't tell me this is not a solution for men as well. You're not excused. You're not excused to abandon the prayer. Scholars say that even if a person could not move at all, 100%, he can still move his eyes. We can pray like that. Allahu Akbar. Something like this. Okay? But to leave the prayer, no. There is no excuse to exempt you from being practically the servant of Allah, practicing the meaning of slavery to Allah. But regarding the voluntary prayer, yes, he can perform it while sitting. Okay, but there will be a problem with the Prophet saying, pray while standing, but if you could not, then pray while sitting. So it is true that the Prophet said, Salatul Rajuli qa'idan nisfu salah. The performing prayer of the person while sitting is half in reward than standing. Could we apply this to the Prophet while he was traveling? And as he was traveling, he was praying while sitting on his cattle? Maybe. But anyway, to perform the prayer while sitting without reason, I don't like it. But I can't say it's prohibited, because the Prophet said the prayer while sitting has half reward of the prayer while standing. Number 4, reciting Al-Fatiha, which is called the mother of the book. Al-Fatiha, which is the first chapter of the Quran, has preference over all other chapters, 113 other chapters. It's very small, but it consists within itself all the meanings of worship and the essence of this religion, despite its small size. 7 verses, but 7 significant verses. So that is why the recitation of Surah Al-Fatiha, it is considered also to be a pillar among the pillars of the prayer. Let's say a person performs the 4 rak'ah of Salat al-Dhuhr or Asr, but he did not recite Al-Fatiha, his prayer is not accepted. It's the pillar, okay? Because the Prophet ﷺ said, "La salata liman lam yaqra bi fatihatil kitab." There is no prayer. That means it's not considered as a prayer for one who did not recite Al-Fatiha in his prayer. So it is obligatory. This hadith is narrated by Bukhari and Muslim. Now, we come to the performance of the recitation of Surah Al-Fatiha while you are behind the Imam. Imam is the leader. Do you recite it or you don't? Well, we know that some units, rak'ah, are publicly recited, and some are not. Some prayers are publicly recited, and some others are not. Asr prayer, Dhuhr prayer, Asr prayer, and these two prayers, okay, we recite publicly Surah Al-Fatiha and the first two no, did I say this? No, sorry. We recite secretly Al-Fatiha in the 4 units, Dhuhr and Asr. As for Maghrib and Isha, the first 2 units of Maghrib and Isha, the recitation is public, even if you're alone. But if you're praying behind the Imam who publicly recites Al-Fatiha, then your task is to listen and hear. Not only hear, but hear and listen. What is the evidence? It's a godly command. وَإِذَا قُرِئَ الْقُرْآنُ فَاسْتَمِعُوا لَهُ وَأَنصِتُوا لَعَلَّكُمْ تُرْحَمُونَ. When the Quran is being recited, then hear and listen that you may be granted mercy. That's I think the before the last ayah of the 7th chapter Al-A'raf. I can't remember the number now, but that's it. Even the jinn in Surah Al-Ahqaf, when they started to hear the recitation of the Prophet when he was in the wilderness and sitting down and reciting the Quran, when they heard his recitation, they started to give a command to one another. Ansitu, keep silent. If the jinn kind said keep silent, how come some people say no, you can read with the Imam? So what is the benefit of the public recitation of the Imam if nobody is hearing and listening? And how can we justify opposing the command of Allah that when you hear the recitation of the Quran, you should hear and listen? Some people say, since the Prophet said, okay, you should not, no prayer is accepted without the recitation of Al-Fatiha. We say there's no contradiction here because the Imam is reciting it for you. And we also say, if the Imam in the secret recitation, okay, does not recite publicly, it's a secret recitation, then you recite also, because you're not hearing him. It's very clear. There is a narration that had been mentioned in Sahih Muslim, but in a discussion between Muslim and one of the people, Muslim recited this hadith. The Imam was made to be followed, to be a model. Whenever he make ruku', then make ruku' after him. When he goes to prostration, go to prostration after him. If he recites, then listen to him. That's in Sahih Muslim. But one of the friends of Muslim, they asked him, why didn't you include this narration in your book? Isn't it authentic? He said, it is authentic. They asked him, then why didn't you include it in your book of Sahih Muslim? He said, I only included in my book what have they agreed upon its authenticity. Which means there is a slight disagreement about the authenticity of this hadith, but it's okay, it's authentic. And especially Muslim had confessed that this is authentic. So if this hadith is authentic, and by the way, let's say it's not authentic, okay? We have the ayah in the Quran. If the Quran being recited, so hear and listen. So this hadith, it goes in agreement with the ayah. So why do we have to argue? And some people say, no, I will wait until the imam stops between ayah and another. So if he said, Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen, so the person will say behind him, Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim, Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim, Maliki Yawm Ad-Din, Maliki Yawm Ad-Din. Why? And some people, they recite it in a very disturbing way, that he'll be disturbing the imam and the people beside him. Why do we have to do that? We shouldn't. Once the Prophet said, when the imam is reciting, you listen to him. وَإِذَا قَرَأَ فَأَنصِتُوا. This is authentic narration. So why do we have to make disagreements and a problem? And that had caused problem to the people. We shouldn't be doing this. Okay. Now, what I wanted to say, that the recitation of the imam in the public unit is a recitation for the ma'moom. Ma'moom means the one who's praying behind him. Finish. Are there some people who cannot recite the Fatiha? Yes. But it should not be always to them like that, the same thing. They should be improving themselves. They should be improving their... We know that there are people whose mother tongue is not English, is not Arabic. It is English or Pakistani or whatever. Okay? But it's not that difficult for him. MashaAllah. Some people, they memorize hundreds of songs. Hundreds of songs. Can't a Muslim memorize the recitation of Surah Al-Fatiha, which is very important? Now, for the time being, if he's not able, okay, we have a solution for him. But the solution should not be permanent solution. It's a temporary solution until he will be able to recite Al-Fatiha. Okay? Now, meanwhile, a man came to the Prophet ﷺ and said to him, I cannot take anything of the Quran. That means I cannot memorize. So teach me what will be sufficient for my prayer to be accepted. He said, you say Subhanallah, Alhamdulillah, wa la ilaha illallah, Wallahu Akbar, wa la hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. Subhanallah. This is very flexible. The Prophet was very flexible in this. This hadith is narrated by Abu Dawood and Al-Hakim, and Imam Al-Dhahabi said it is authentic. So that is a solution. The fifth obligation in the prayer is ruku'. Ruku'. In your ruku', you should be steadily making the ruku' just like that. Not like this. Some people say, well, I wanna lower my body more to be more humiliated to God. That's not true. This is exaggeration. Okay? The prayer of the Prophet ﷺ was described as this. Whenever he raises his head from ruku', he'll be standing like this until we say he forgot to go down. He forgot to go down. This is regarding the standing after ruku'. But the ruku' itself, okay, the ruku' itself, the Prophet's ruku' was described by the companions that if a glass of water was put on his back, it will be steady on his back. It will not fall down. You can tell now that it is exactly like this. Not like that, not like that, but exactly like this. This is how the ruku' of the Prophet ﷺ was described. So, number 6 is the raising up from a ruku' and standing steadily. Number 7, takbir, with every falling down or standing back from the falling. Standing back from ruku', from sujood, or falling to ruku', we say Allahu Akbar, always. Okay? The Prophet ﷺ said, the prayer of any one of you will not be complete until he performs a complete wudu. as Allah ordered him. Then he makes takbir. Then he goes to the ruku' until his joint will be reassured. Listen to this. Until his joints will be reassured. That means he stand up like this, not going up and down. I hope you did not see the Ferrari Imam. Ferrari Imam. In less than a minute, 4 rak'ah have been performed already. Now the Prophet's prayer was described like this: when he stand back from ruku' with reassurance, when he goes to ruku' with reassurance, when he goes down to sujood with reassurance. This is what the Prophet was instructing one of the companions to perform the prayer like this. He mentioned the word reassurance maybe 10 times, which is indicative to the necessity of having reassurance in your prayer. I don't like this, that some people are rushed to life away from Allah. Where? What is more important than your Creator? What is more important than Him? We ask Allah to grant us or to increase the loving of Him in our hearts more than anything else. Wallahi, if Allah is not important in your prayer, what is important? Some people, when some scholars, or one of the scholars, in fact, he had to have his leg cut off, and he said, "Wait, don't cut it off until I engage myself in the prayer." You know why? Because his nerves are busy, his brain is busy, his bones are busy, everything in him is busy with Allah. And that's why Allah said, the Prophet Muhammad said, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, "Inna fi salati la shughlan." In the prayer, there is a busyness. Yes, it's true. To the Prophet, busyness from life, but to many people, busyness in life from the prayer. In the Prophet's perspective, busyness in the prayer. But in the perspective of many people, busyness from the prayer. We shouldn't be. We should understand what is the real importance of the prayer. Your heart needs 5 meals. The likeness of a one who performed the prayer without attending this humility and softness and sweetness of that meal is as the likeness of one who entered a restaurant. Okay, he sat down, he ordered the meal, then the meal was brought to him, then he took his way and went and left the restaurant. What about the food? He sat down, but did not take the food. This is the attitude of a lot of people who perform, but without any sensibility, any feeling. It's just like the one who has, whose nose are blocked. He has a flu. You know, when you have flu and you want to eat, we give you cake and the most tasty food, and we ask you, did you taste anything? You say, no, maybe I was eating rubber. Rubber? He doesn't have a taste. He has flu. How many people they have flu in their prayer? They don't taste the prayer. Number 8, sujood. For every rak'ah, every unit, he has 2 sajda. And between them, there are moments of supplication between the 2 sajda. The Prophet was asked, what should I say? Is there anything for me in my prayer? The Prophet said, yes. You should say, Allahumma ighfirli, warhamni, wajburni, wahdini, wa'afini, warzuqni. This is comprehensive for all your life and hereafter. This supplication is comprehensive for all your affairs of life and the hereafter. And there are pillars of the prostration, sujood. The Prophet ﷺ said, I was ordered to make sujood on 7 members. 7 members. Face, 2 palms, 2 knees, 2 feet. And when we talk about the face, do you remember when it said, when we're talking about wudu, that when you wash your face, you have to rinse the nose and the mouth because they are included. When we talk about the face, we include in this the nose. So when you put your head on the ground, the nose should be touching the ground. The Prophet said, alayhi salatu wasalam, Mur anfaka falyasjud ma'ak. Command your nose. Command your nose to fall in sujood with you. So this is very important.